Hey guys, good morning. How are you? Hope you have a great day yesterday, great trading day yesterday. Today I'm going to talk about market session opens and I'm going to talk about when to trade, when I trade, and when I don't trade. So we have something called pre-market and we have something called market open. So there are basically three sessions you can trade. You can trade on the Asia session, London session, and New York session. So before jumping into the chart, let me show you. If you go into the Forex market hours and you write in your time zone where you live, if you live in London, if you live in Johannesburg, if you live in, I don't know, Mumbai, this will adjust it to your market session opening hours. All right. So you have London session where we usually trade. We don't want to trade. We don't want to sit next to the chart all day. This is the entire point of trading, right? We wanna we wanna get in, take a trade, maybe in the 1 to 2 hour time frame. What do you call it? Window between 9 and 11, and London session, and between the New York market session opens. So these are the times that we want to trade, and these are the times that the strategy I'm talking about works the best. So if you write in your time zone, you will see. Let's jump down to. You will see when the London session opens and when the New York session opens. All right. So where I live, the London session opens at 9 o'clock. So what do I want to do? I want to jump in to the market. Let's jump back to Wednesday right here. Uh, let me just remove these lines. So you see, so this is what I do. I mark out. You can see here it says 9 o'clock. So I write Alt. I press Alt V, and it gives me a line. Alt V. It gives me a line, and this line indicates that the market session opens at 9 o'clock. Before every market session opens, there is a pre-market open that happens an hour before. So I'm going to mark out another line here at 8 o'clock, and you can see that it says 8 o'clock here on a Wednesday. This is yesterday. On a Wednesday and 9 o'clock, market session opens. You can choose your own colors and choose what fits for you. So these are the times that we want to trade, and this is how you do it. You mark out the 8 o'clock and you mark out the 9 o'clock, and between 9 and about 11:30 is when you take a trade, is when I take a trade. This is the hours where we work. This is the working hours. Nothing else, nothing more, and everything you take after that is not really aligned with where the market is going. You've seen these videos where there is consolidation, manipulation, distribution, right? I don't want to get into more details for this, but we want to take trade during the manipulation, right? Where it exits from the overnight range. This is where we want to take a trade, because when it exits from overnight range and we take some trades after that, you might be lucky and take a win, but it's lower probability. Because think about it, market session opens at 9 o'clock. See it as a 9 to 5. People are going to work and they're starting their work at 9 o'clock. It's like I get a picture of Wall Street in New York when the bell rings and you can see people screaming and yelling and buying and selling and with the stocks. The same thing's happening here. At the end of the day, there's not much volatility, there's not much movement, and you can also see the volume of volatility. Trading volume is usually low at this time of day. You can see that the volatility rises the more we move to the New York session opens. So there's more volatility in New York session opens, less volatility in London session opens, and very low volatility in Tokyo session open. So we don't trade Tokyo or Sydney session. We trade only London session and New York session. So let me just jump to, you get it? 9 o'clock, London session opens. It all depends on your time. Maybe in your time, the London session opened like this is the settings I'm using. UTC plus 1, 9 o'clock. When you write UTC, depending on where you live, you need to mark it based on your time zone. See what I mean? So this is the London session, right? This is the London session. And you choose the session that works best for you. And we have then the NY session. When does the New York session opens? You jump here, you write your GMT, and you check the, this is wrong. It doesn't open at 2 o'clock. The New York session, this is not correct. The New York session opens at 3:30 p.m. and the pre-market of the New York session opens up at 2:30 p.m. This is the New York session. Same thing applies here. The main point of it is that we want to trade an hour to 2.5 hours after market session opens. And how I do it, after 45 minutes, I take a break. I take a breather, I do some stretching, I go drink some water, go to the bathroom, I take a 5 minute break, and I come back even keeled. I do some breathing exercises so I'm not stuck next to a computer for 2 hours because because taking a trade needs your strength, and you don't want to take a trade when you're feeling weak and sluggish and tired because you're sitting next to the computer all day long or for 2 hours. So jumping back to New York session opens. New York session opens up at 3:30 and at 2:30. So this is the manipulation that we have, the London session overnight range that we have for the New York session. So the market opens at 3:30, and this is where ideally we want to take a trade. This is between these areas we want to take a trade. We don't want to take a trade at the end of the day. Same thing with the London session. We don't want to take a trade at the end of the day because it's the lowest probability chance that we win that trade. Then again, we can be lucky and we can win the trade. All right, that's basically, and we don't need to trade both sessions. You trade what works for you. If you have free time and you have a focused 2 hours between 9 and 11, take the London session. If you have focused time and you're even keeled and you're on your game, take the New York session and trade the New York session. Trading needs your ultimate and your only focus during those times. So pick a session that works best for you. And you can, if you feel at your best decision making in the London session, choose that. So your only trading window should be between 9 and 11, 11:30. And if there is no setup on the London session, maybe you jump to the New York session and take trades there. But the ideal position you want to put yourself in is that you feel the strongest. During which session do you feel the strongest and not having somebody interrupt you all the time. All right, that's about it for this video. See you on the next one.